My name's Lucy Ann, and I'm the Front Porch Knitter. And this is my little corner of the internet where I share about my knitting, my fiber adventures, and all the crafting that I do, as well as all the social things around that, plus a little bit about family. And I often talk about nostalgia and those kinds of things, and about how certain things are important to people. Today, because it's been a minute, is a pretty heavy finished objects episode. So that's kind of exciting because you get to see all the things I've done, but I have to do these more frequently. I have to get my rear end in gear. I've been trying to record all week. We are dog sitting. Our son is on vacation, so we and his wife, and we have their dog. And we've had him for 2 weeks, and he's lovely, but he's needier than my dog was, and a bit more mischievous. Like, I can't always just leave him somewhere and go and do my thing. Like, it requires a bit more on the go. Plus, we have 2 dogs who live here. Our son and his girlfriend's dogs live here all the time. And so, yeah, I just have to be mindful of who I'm leaving alone where and when, because I don't want to deal with the aftermath. And they play hard. I will say the 3 of them together play hard. And that's the only way to put it. And I love them to bits, and I'm happy to have them and all those other things. It just means little things like recording are much more difficult. Also because there's more people in my house again. When it was just my husband and I could count on him to go to work every morning, and I was here by myself the rest of the day, I could always fit it in. Now, not so much. People are on the telephone, or there's music playing, and we all live here. So I can ask them. Like, I could say, okay, I'm going to record. Can everyone kind of keep it down for an hour or so? But yeah, that's not my nature. So, but I am hoping to get back into a bit more regular of a schedule, because I find these long gaps not only mean long episodes, but it's also harder for me because, like, I have to gather everything together, and I have to hang on to things and not talk about them, or not wear them or use them or gift them until I've had a chance to talk to you about them, or at least I feel I do. I mean, I know that if I knit something and it was gone, you would never know. You wouldn't necessarily ever know that it happened. But yeah, like and bearing in mind, this pile of FOs, finished objects, is because we've had a really, really long in between. My last episode was recorded in end of June, beginning of July. And yeah, we haven't gone away or anything all summer. I've sort of been around here doing my regular things. And so I've had quite a bit of knitting time, quite a bit of front porch time. And I would have been on the front porch today, except today is Friday, September 13th. And if you know anything about Southern Ontario, or if you are a motorcycle enthusiast, you will know that motorcycles from far and wide go to the town of Port Dover on every Friday the 3rd. I have a weird shadow under my nose. Look at that. I do not have a bruise or a purple spot. I think it's just the way the lights are in this room. If I sit like this, you can see up my nose, but there's no shadow. So I'm just going to leave the shadow. People from far and wide, motorcyclists, head to Port Dover every Friday the 13th that they possibly can year round. And we're sort of, so they don't necessarily take the most major roads, and we are certainly on one of the quieter roads that it makes sense for them to go on. So it could be perfectly quiet and lovely out there, and then all of a sudden there's a group of like 50 motorcycles goes by. You wouldn't be able to hear me. It would be very hard on your ears, and it's kind of crazy, but it's cool. It's really cool, but it would be kind of crazy. And this is a really small little town right on Lake Ontario. And when the motorcyclists are there, I bet you the population of that town is 5 or 10 times what it normally is. But Yeah, so you can look it up. Port Dover motorcycles. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll see pictures and find out information, and there'll be all kinds of things. So yeah, check that out if you're a motorcycle enthusiast or if you're just curious. That's why I'm not on my porch. It's also pretty late in the day now. It is 6 p.m., so the light is dodgy. But I just locked myself in my room here and got everything organized and together and gathered and went, okay, I'm doing this because we are going away. This is Friday. On Monday, we're heading to the East Coast. And my husband's going with me. I mean, you're used to me going all the time, but John's going with me. And we're going to spend some time with friends. My lovely friend Heidi Stevenson and her husband Robert, who we enjoy spending time with. We're going to spend a few days with them. And then we're hanging out with family, mostly my cousin and her husband, my cousin Colleen and her husband Marty. We're going to do some hanging out with them. And of course, we'll see my parents, but we're also planning on doing more vacation-y kind of things. Our friends, Faith and Holly, will be around, and so we're going to try and spend some time with them. And then our daughter, Hillary, and her partner are coming down for the second week we're down there, and they're going to drive my car down. And they're doing some vacation-y things. They're going to stay at my parents' cottage, and we'll come back with John, and I will stay for the PEI Fiber Festival because I don't want to miss it. And I've been planning to go all year, and it just happened that in order, like, I could drive back with them, but I would literally have to get in the car and drive down again. So this worked out perfect that they were coming as well. And yeah, so I'll have a vehicle down there, which is kind of nice. And if you're going to be at the PEI Fiber Festival, come see me. Stop me. Talk to me. I might have a little something in my bag for you. Not to mention, I just love to talk to people all the time. It's my thing. Yeah. Tomorrow I am headed to the KW Knitters Fair, which you probably won't see this before I go because this will be... it'll go up probably tonight, but I don't expect people will watch it before tomorrow. So, but I will have gone to the KW Knitters Fair and meeting up with Val from Val's Fibres, who was on the knitting cruise with me. So that'll be great. She's vending there. So we're going to hopefully we'll get a chance to chat anyway. Depends on how busy she is and what she has going on. And how she feels at the end of the show and all those other things. But that's really cool that I get to connect with her. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, and then I get back from PEI. And I think I have a full week between PEI and Thanksgiving weekend happens in the middle there. And then the next weekend after Thanksgiving is Woolstock, Ontario in Paris at the Paris Fairgrounds. And that's a fun event as well. So lots of fibery things going on in the next 6 weeks. So I might see you there. Please stop me and talk to me. Yeah, I'm terrible with names. I usually recognize faces, but I'm not always good with names. So it's okay to remind me if I had that blank look on my face. I'm looking forward to it. So let's jump in. We're 10 minutes and I haven't really talked about all the things, and I told you I had a lot. So we're going to start with a special request FO. Our son's girlfriend who lives with us. Look, aren't those gorgeous? She works at the local golf course, and in the morning it is cold. So I knit her. She's been wearing those little dollar store gloves. She doesn't need to wear those. She lives at my house. I knit her a pair of these penny gloves, and they're just, I mean, they're gorgeous. This is, and I'm going to do her, I think I'm going to do an East Coast cowl and a headband to match them, but this was the immediate need, and that's a color that she loves. This is Deborah from Yarn Indulgences. It's the Z Luxe in Steel Teal. And this is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon. This gorgeous green. And I paired it with Knit Picks. I have a whole one here, so I'll show you that. Knit Picks Aloft mohair. And their mohair is, let me find in the color Labrynth. And it's 72% mohair, 28% silk. So, and I have two full ones and a good chunk of this one still left. I haven't weighed that yarn to see what I have left, but I think I have enough to do an East Coast cowl and a headband. The headband might have to be in a different green, but I pulled out this gloss, Knit Picks gloss in pine if I ran out of the Yarn Indulgences, so that they'll be pretty similar. So I finished those, and I can give them to her so she can wear them on the golf course in the morning now. They are so soft. Like, the mohair's soft, the cashmere's soft, the merino's soft, the silk is soft. But I just love the colors, the way the colors play, and they're beautiful. So that's finished object number 1. I don't know, I'm going to have a pile, so let's put them on the floor. The next thing I finished, and you guys had seen this for a bit, and I'm looking forward to being able to use this now. I love this. This is my From Me With Love. What do they call it? I don't know if it's a shawl or a shawlette or what you want to call it, but it's I picked up the yarn at the mYak booth at the Knit City, Toronto, and it is mYak's Baby Yak and Silk. In Violetta is the purple, and the blue is Indra. And it's a light fingering, took two 25-gram minis. And I don't know what, I think I followed the pattern exactly. I'm not sure. I'm sure I must have. And I knit until I was out of yarn. Like, until I couldn't complete a full stripe and cast off. So I might have done a little more. Like, I didn't want to have leftovers. But it's so light and drapey, but at the same time, it's such a great color. Like, I just love these colors. Like, I see them with a jean jacket, or over like a cream sweater, or like I see myself wearing this a lot of different ways. And Kelly from Knit Chat Cafe, she did hers, and like she said it's a nice, because it's so light and drapey, she uses hers for a head wrap. She has nice big curly hair. I don't have that, so you could use it as a head wrap as well, but I really like it. And it is so soft and so light. I'm excited to be able to wear that. I don't even think I had I think I talked about this last time, but I hadn't cast it on. This is my Tolsta tank by Rebecca Clow, the Crayabea. And I've made 3 or 4 Tolsta tees, and I really like that pattern. It's quick, easy to knit up, comfortable. You can do so many different things with it. And so when the tank pattern came out, I got it right away. I think this version, because there's several versions, I think this is the best version. So for someone of a more distinguished age, it has really nice coverage. Although I think I might make the camisole one, because I do really like it as well. And I just striped it to 2 rows, and did the blue as the ribbing. I don't know what needle I used, and I don't do project pages. I probably use the needle it says in the pattern. 99% of the time I do. And I'm going to show you something interesting, and you'll be able to see, you can actually see it right there. See how that bulges up a bit? I was knitting, I switch between continental and throwing, between picking and throwing. And this is knit in Deborah from Yarn Indulgence's Silken Linen Fingering. And I find with plant-based yarns, or if I'm knitting back and forth and there's a potential for rowing out, it is better if I throw than if I pick. My tension is more even. So there's a few, I should have ripped it out, but I didn't bother. This is the part that's by my hips anyway, so no one's gonna notice. But that's how my tension changes from one to the other. Now, if I'm knitting in the round, it doesn't, with wool, it doesn't seem to, like my tension is fine, but it's these plant-based fibers, and if I'm going back and forth, because I know it's because I can purl, whatever you call it, whichever one it is, continental, like I do the Norwegian purl, and it's fine, I like in the round, but if I'm doing something back and forth, I get a little more rowing out. I get some rowing out when I purl anyway, like no matter which way I purl, but it's better if I do it throwing the yarn than picking. I don't know if any of that makes sense, and I switch back and forth between the two pretty interchangeably. I almost always do socks, anything like small circumference, like mittens, socks, all those things, I almost always pick. So hold the yarn in my left hand and pick it with my right, with the working needle. Yeah, but it's interesting to see it in a garment. And I haven't blocked this yet. And not that blocking does a lot to plant fibers, not like it does with wool, but I think that I've told all of you, so if you ever see me wearing it, you'll notice. But the reality is, most of the people in the world aren't going to notice. And it doesn't bother me enough for me to have picked it out. So, but I do really like it. So this is Yarn Indulgence Silken Linen in the colorway Shine and Turquoise. And let me find the label and I'll tell you, I think it's 35.65. Yeah, 65% silk, 35% linen. You can see, oh, there's got the shadows from my fingers. There you go. So Yarn Indulgence, I'll link to her shop below. I don't, she probably does, she was low in this base in the spring, but I think she got another shipment of it, so I bet she has some in her shop. Although she's also at lots of festivals right now, so. But anyway, I'm really happy with this. Looking forward to wearing it, even though we're not going to have a whole lot of this kind of weather left. I'm hoping maybe I can wear it. So, PEI last year we were wearing t-shirts and things, so maybe. We'll see. We will see. So that was my Tolsta tee. And I knit to the pattern, didn't make any modifications at all. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't want to have to think that hard. The truth, I don't want to do the math. That is the reality. I don't mind modifying patterns if I'm in the right frame of mind for it and everything's, you know, I don't know, like I have the time and I feel like I have the headspace to do it. But you know, you have to do the math and you have to be able to think through the process to make sure you haven't missed anything. And when I'm knitting a tank top like that, it's a lot of stockinette in the round. And I'm very, very happy with that. I didn't even do anything because I striped it. You can see where I switched, but again, only because I'm going to show you, you'll be able to see it. No one else is going to notice. You can see it right there. I did try a couple of times to do something different, and it wasn't worth the faff. That's a good word. And my arms are going to cover it most of the time. And people should be looking at my face if they're talking to me, not at my underarm seam, underarm, whatever. So, but I do just love these two colors. So I don't know why. It's like it reminds me of lemonade and blueberries or something like that. Like it's just, I know it's shine and turquoise, but it just, every time I see it, I think of lemonade, and I don't really know why, because blue and lemonade aren't necessarily things that go together, but I love these two colors. And I would not, I love the turquoise because I wouldn't wear the yellow by itself, probably. I don't think it's a color that enhances my skin tone that much, but with the blue, I can wear it because I do really like it. And I do like to knit with things I like, so I don't have to, you know, so I can do whatever I want. The next thing I finished is, so this is a very heavy Yarn Indulgence Deborah episode. I knit an East Coast cowl. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if it's going in my gift bucket. But I wanted something, you know, not quite vanilla, but still pretty low key. And there is no purling in this. That's its claim to fame. And you know, sometimes you don't want any purling. I don't know, I can't get it on nicely, but I do like the way it fits. Like I like the way it comes up on my neck, and I get good coverage on my chest. And it's gonna go, it goes almost to my belly button, so it's gonna keep me warm, but I like it a lot. So that's the, and you're gonna say, oh, there must have been purling at the bottom, but no, there was not, because genius that Deborah is, what she does is at the bottom of the back, you split again and go back and forth. So it's still just garter stitch knitting. Pretty cool, eh? And you have a nice, the increase and decrease line. Like I just like the structure and it's really nice. I really like it. And it's squishy. And that is knit in her yarn. So Deborah from Yarn Indulgence. So this is her pattern, and it is on Ravelry, and I'll have it linked down below. And this, I don't even remember when I got this. I don't know if I got it at PEI last year or if I got it at Fiddlehead. Can't remember. But it's her Maritime collection Eco DK, and it's 100% organic, non-superwash South American Merino, and the colorway is Fundy Mudflats. So that was, I really liked it. It was really nice to work with too. You have to be oh look, there's a mistake. See right there, I don't know what I did. I must have dropped a stitch and then picked it up the wrong way. I don't know. No one's gonna notice. You will now know because I told you. It is really nice, and it's nice and squishy. I guess because it's non-superwash, I might not gift it. I might keep it for myself. The mistake wouldn't make me keep it for myself, but the fact that it's non-superwash and somebody might put it in the washing machine will make me keep it for myself. Or I have to give it to somebody who's really knit-worthy and isn't going to wash it. But I do love it. I love the colors. I love the depth of color. This is what I like about hand-dyed yarn, right? You get the nuances and there's nothing wrong with a solid color yarn, right? Like this is also beautiful. But this has just a little bit of life to it. So when you do a really simple pattern, I think when you do something really simple with beautiful yarn, you get more nuance. How's that? Does that sound sensible? I have no idea. So I also participate, and I don't even know who coordinated. I wonder if I can figure it out from my phone. I bet I can. The 2024, because the Olympics consumed me, and there was someone who put out, like, let's see, I think it might have been Lindsay from Sock Witchery, actually, as I'm pretty sure who it was now. And she was going to see how many pairs of socks she could knit while watching the Olympics. And I thought, oh, that sounds like fun. Because I do watch a fair amount. I mean, in the past, I played sports. I don't play sports very much anymore, but I have in the past played sports. And yeah. Oh, here it is. Sock Olympics. Yes, it's Lindsay from Sock Witchery. You can check out her podcast as well. She's fun. I have sports I like to watch, and then there's other sports I don't. You know, if I see them, I see them. If I don't, I don't. I did watch most of the soccer. I did watch quite a bit of beach volleyball, swimming. I tried to watch the equestrian events, but couldn't quite. I could never figure out what channel they were on, because normally I would watch those as well. And yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I try to watch, I watch the rowing, and yeah, some of those sports are kind of boring to watch, not in person, but I do like to keep up with what's going on with them. And I'm interested to see young people doing well, and older people too. Some of the people were older, which was really cool. But yeah, so that was good. Anyway, so I decided I was going to do it. And in my head, I decided I was not going to do fingering socks because, yeah, I would get one pair done. So I decided just to do DK, and I think I did one worsted pair, but the rest were all DK. So I think this was the first pair I don't know. If you go on my Instagram, you can see them in order, but I can't remember what the order was anymore. So if you really care which ones I finished first and which ones I finished second, Instagram is the place to go. I am the Front Porch Knitter on Instagram, but I knit these. So this is Regia DK. I'm pretty sure it's Regia. Yeah. And this is the yarn I did, the leftovers from my Nord socks. And this was a full skein of this brown tweed. Now, these are just basically a vanilla, they're a vanilla sock, and I did a 3x1 rib. I do find when I do DK socks, I like ribbing because it's, in my head, they're snugger, more snug, whatever. However, that would be grammatically correct. You pick the answer. One of the things I will say about these is I can't remember what pattern I used to get my numbers, maybe Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla DK socks. I should have maybe gone smaller because they aren't as snug on my foot as I would like, but I'm going to wear these in Birkenstocks, maybe more likely in my Blundstones. Like I'm not wearing them in my, in shoes or things like that, and like I wear my other wool socks. So yeah, so I just did I striped for the 2x2 rib. I used, if you can see it, I used an alternating, well, this is the ribbing on these ones is 1x1. Alternating cable cast on, which I really like. I don't know if you can, I don't know if anyone else can notice or care, but I like the way it looks and I like the way it feels on a sock. And then I just did a, you know, cast on 1 row and then 3 of the dark, 2 of the light, 3 of the dark, 2 of the light. I think it might be 4 of the dark, 3 of the light. Yeah, 4 of the dark. No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of the dark, 3 of the light. Just kind of like to give that work sock vibe. And then I did 1 row of dark in the toe for the same reason. These are nice, heavy yarn. These are the 2 colors. If you find this Regia DK, it is like, it's a workhorse yarn. It's a nice heavy. I still have 72 grams of the dark one left and 47 grams of the lighter color. So the lighter color, I've knit a pair of socks and I've done heels, toes, and stripes. And I still have 47 grams left. This is I always find these labels hard to read because there's so many languages on them. It's a 6 ply. They're 150 gram balls, and they're 70, 25, and then 5% is the Tweety bits. So this is what the label looks like. Yeah, so that's a nice heavy pair of socks, and they'll be cozy, and even for house, like in the house and things in the winter. So I did those. I don't know if it is the first pair, but it's the first pair I'm showing you. And I did an afterthought heel. And I do it just like my toe and nothing fancy. And then the other unusual ones I did was I did these are worsted. And this yarn is this, oops. This is Opal Wilder Winter. It's an 8 ply. Worsted weight, and I think this is 150 grams as well. Yes, 150 grams, 320 meters. And I don't know who these people are, but I'm sure they're important to the design or the something. And I can't read that because it's too small. But here they are. And because I didn't want them to just be a vanilla sock, I did do a heel flap and gusset in these. And this I did, so I took the pattern idea, like the patterning idea from Nancy Wheeler's Bucktooth Boardwalk socks, and I just modified it to fit the stitch count. Now these I did make a bit smaller, so they do fit me really nice. I don't know if I could give them away, I suppose, but I hate giving away socks because I love them so much, and as I knit them, I love the yarn and it's just fun. But this is another cozy pair of socks that could go in boots, I suppose, or could be used for something else. I did a 1x1 rib. I didn't use a contrast. I just used this yarn for the whole thing. I didn't do a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. I just did a straight one and like just a flat, because they're already, because they're DK, or no, worsted, the heel is pretty thick. So if you did a slip stitch or anything like that, that would make it thicker. And I didn't want to do that because that would make it harder to wear them. But this is also going to be quite, I mean, opal is another good, like Regia or the Croy, they're good, what is the word I want? Workhorse yarns. Let's see if I can tell you what the fiber content is on this. I think it's going to be a 75-25, but I'm sure it's on here. But this, yes, 75. So it's right here. Those words in all of that patterning, that's the size. It's a 75-25 wool and polyamide. Those are fun. And I have quite a bit left. I didn't weigh it, but I do have quite a bit of this left still. Like maybe 40 or 50 grams. I don't know. I might be able to make a pair of like slippers or something for a little person with what's left. We'll see what I do with that. So that's 2 pair. And then I had got, on the cruise, we got a sock set from Frankie Gray Fibres, a DK sock set. And I don't know what the colors, I don't know what the individual colors are on this, but the sock set, because it was custom dyed for us, it's Seize the Day is the sock set. So I did a pair of shorties in this. And it had 3 skeins, and I don't know if it tells me on the label what they were. $100 gram and 2 20 grams. But I don't know what the colors. They were custom dyed. Although this looks like Chick Flick. I think that's what this one is. I'm not sure. Chick Flick or Hibiscus. I can never keep them all straight. And then this nice blue. And this has Stellina in it. So this was actually the 3rd pair of Frankie Gray ones I did. So I was getting better at making them fit me better. As, you know, I started to get the formula. And the first, these are the first ones, the Frankie Gray ones. These are a teeny bit big, but not too bad. And this is the pattern we got on the cruise, My Happy Place, or Happy Place, My Happy Place, Happy Place. Happy Place socks by Tracie Millar. So Tracie, and I bought a sock set from Jody at Frankie Gray Fibres to do them. And these colors, I do know what they are. So the light blue, which is the top here, that is Sky High. And the red is Big Apple. The green is Citron. I think the pink is Mayflowers, and this color is Chick Flick, or the other way around. I'm not sure. But it was, let me see if it tells me what the breakdown was. I think it was 2 50 grams and 2 50 grams and 2 20 grams. Does that work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Anyways, 20 grams. Some skeins were 50, some were 20. It was a sock set though. And it might have even been called the Happy Place sock set. But I really like them. They're fun. They're cute. And I did an afterthought heel. I'm not sure what the heel was in the pattern. I have really narrow heels, so that is a style I like. Now this yarn did bleed a little bit, and you can see it more. This is another pair I made. You can see it in these ones, and I haven't washed them a second time, and maybe when I wash them again it'll come out, but you can see that it bled a little bit in here. So then I took what was left, and I'll show this side because this side's where I changed where the beginning around is, and just reorganized the stripes into another combination. Again, I did the alternating cable cast on. I really like that on socks as long as I'm doing 1x1 ribbing. And then did the, just change the stripe pattern up. And so that was 2 pairs of socks from that sock set. And I still had a little bit of these 2 colors left when I was done. And from the first pair, I didn't have any of the Stellina yarn left. I used every bit of it, but the main color and the blue mini, I still had some left. Now I have a tag here somewhere that tells me exactly how much I have left of each of those, but I may have dropped it. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I have enough left for another pair of shorty socks. And they're not really short. Like, I could wear all of those socks in boots. Like, they're long enough for that. I don't know what I did with that little tag. It was here on the table earlier, but I must have dropped it. They're long enough to wear in boots. Like, I don't know. It's like a 4 or 5 inch cuff before you start the heel. 4 maybe, 3, 4. I don't know. I'm bad at that. But, you know, reasonably long. And, yeah. So when you can get, like, from a full skein of fingering and a mini, I can always get 2 pairs of reasonable size socks for me. And I wear a woman's size 9. But, if you were doing a men's sock or something, you might not. But I thought that was pretty good. And even this DK, I could get it. I'm sure I can get another pair of socks out of this. Not quite as high, maybe, as the first ones I showed you. But this, Jody's DK base, her DK sock base, is so soft and so plump. And it's a 75-25. But it's really nice. Frankie Gray Fibres. These are the colors of the Happy Place socks. And the other, this was, you won't be able to get this colorway. This is Seize the Day. This was the exclusive colorway, these ones, for the people on the cruise. Like, I don't think she's done it again. So that was 5 pairs of socks that I finished watching the Olympics. If I was watching something that was getting a little intense, pole vaulting at one point was getting a bit intense. Soccer for sure was intense. I could see my tensions change as I was knitting, because apparently I knit much tighter when things are tense. Anyway, I think I have enough here. I don't know what, like, I could do another pair of socks and put some little accents on it, probably. I wouldn't be able to do, they might have to be really short shorties. Maybe I could do a little heel tab sock or something like that. Anyway, I still have quite a bit. And I'll just have to see. It bugs me that I can't find that tag, because I know I kept it. But I've moved so many things trying to get organized here that it's probably just on the floor. Okay, so, oh, found it. Look at that. I have 62 grams of the main left. I have 13.7 of, oh, there's another 12 grams somewhere. I have 13.7 of this, 10.3 of this one, and 8.2 grams of this one. And there's apparently one other little ball of pink somewhere, but it wasn't in the bag with these, so I don't know where it might be. I don't see it right here. But it can't be too far away. It can't have left the country. Or maybe I used it somewhere else. I don't know. Anyways, that was that. Then the last thing I finished, and I don't think I've shown you guys these. I can't remember half the time. So, you know, if you've been around a while, you know that I've been knitting this sock pattern that I sort of made up myself, and I've done a few iterations of it. So this is yet another, I've named it, it's called Changing Lanes. I am writing it up. It's just a textured. Now, I should be able to tell you what the yarn is. I would have sworn that the yarn was Rose Hill. However, I can't find the tag. But I did find the tag for the mini, and they came together as a sock set, and the from a Christmas swap last year. And the mini is that Yarn Habit Mushy Peas. But I cannot for the life of me remember if the main color was, it's an Alberta dyer. That's what I will tell you. It was a lovely Alberta dyer, and the yarn is great. I do remember it's a 75-25, but I can't remember anything else about it. If I've talked about it on here, you might be able to find the info, but I couldn't find it in my notes, so I don't know what I did. I mean, I've knit quite a few pairs of using this pattern, like using this stitch pattern. I just have to decide if I am gonna. I did start writing it up, but I have to decide if I'm gonna do anything with it after that. It's one of those things. I actually, in the works in progress, you'll see I have another one on the needles. Now these, I do 2x2 ribbing, and it's to do with the stitch count of the texture. And I did the pop of color. I just did a regular long tail cast on for these. I did these are 66 stitches on the leg, and I go to 64 on the foot for a little snugger foot, also to do with the stitch count of the pattern. But you could modify that. Like, once you see the stitch count of the pattern, you'd be able to figure out what you had to do. Like, you can do 60 or 66, but you can't do 64 because it's a 6-stitch repeat. But there'll be info in the pattern. I find that the 66 on my leg is fine. Like, it's actually maybe a little nicer. And the 64, because you do the bottom of the foot plain, the 64 is better for my foot. But, you know, we do whatever we want with our knitting. And that's why I've been hesitant to write it up, because it's not a standard stitch count pattern. Like, you have to mess with the numbers a little bit. But anyway, I'm almost done writing it up. I just need to get further. I do really like it. It's kind of like a ribbed sock without it being ribbed. So you get that like little bit of bounce in it, which is nice. I blocked these ones, this particular pair, pretty aggressively because I wanted to see what would happen, but they're still good. I've been mucking around with this probably for 3 years, so I need to decide what I'm going to do. But that's them. Changing lanes. That's what I'm going to call it. Because I go up and down the highway a lot. If you've been around a while, you know that. So that's all the knitting finished objects. I have one more spinning finished object. So I have the eel wheel nano, from Dreaming Robots, and this is my Tour de Fleece spinning. It's not perfect, as you can tell, but it's pretty, and I know I can make something with it. So because I wanted to make sure I could make something with it, because sometimes if you just have a single skein, like how many people do you hear say, oh, it'll be colorwork in a sweater? There is not enough years for us to knit all these colorwork sweaters. And ironically, most of the people who say it don't knit a lot of colorwork sweaters. Nancy, not calling anyone out. But the fiber, the braid, the main braid was from the Fiber Imp, and it was House of Cards was the 150 gram, it was the 150 gram braid, and House of Cards was the colorway. And I have roughly 540 yards. What I did was I did a single in the braid, and then I did a single of just a plain white merino fiber that I have, an undyed, and I plied them together. I think this would make a really nice cowl, or like I could do a cowl and a hat or something like that. I haven't, yeah. I have quite a bit of it, so I can probably do a cowl and a hat. It'll be interesting. Like, and it's one of those things where I can just sort of fudge around with it and make up a pattern as I go if I want to. I have to say, I do, in works in progress, I'll show you, I have a couple, I've got another braid I'm spinning, and I am getting more consistent, but that's what it is, right? And it's partly because my goal was to spend a half hour every day during Tour de Fleece, and I missed a couple days just because there was stuff going on, and or like today I went to spin and my battery pack isn't in the basket, which means someone borrowed it, which means, and I have 3 battery packs and I couldn't find any of them. So I have to get after people, because that must mean somebody's borrowed them and they're in their cars now and I need them back. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I really enjoy spinning. I have to say it is a very zen activity. Like, you literally can just not really zone out, but you just, like, you're so into the movement of your fingers and the movement of the fiber that it's very meditative, to say the least, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so those are all the things I finished. I told you it was a lot. So now what am I knitting on? So I do this thing where I try to finish as many things as I can, and then I cast on a whole bunch of things. So hence all the finished things. And I just realized there's one more thing that isn't written down. So I better write it down here. What am I currently working on? Well, since we just talked about spinning, let's just look at my spinning again, because it's right here. So this is what the fiber looks like from the braid, and here it is on my little wheel. I'm terrible at getting my everything evenly across, so I don't have a whole lot left to do. I have a little bit left to just don't belong in there. And this is a finished and I think I'll just ply this one on itself. This fiber is Archangel. It's Malabrigo Noob Archangel, and the composition is 113 grams, and it's 100% merino. And that's the color. And I probably got that at Little Red Mitten. But yeah, so I love the colors in it. I love the oranges and the purples and things, and can apply that together, and I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe it'll be color work in a yoke of a sweater, because apparently I personally would be happy to just look at it, which is maybe not the best use of my crafting time, but I do like the process, so that's kind of cool. The next thing I'm knitting on is in my cute little One More Row bag that I got from my friend Faith, that she brought back to me from when she was in Ireland. And this is, I'll tell you the yarn so you know. It doesn't have a colorway on it, but it's a Coriander 3 knits. It's 75% superwash blue face luster and 25% nylon, so it could have been a sock. And this is what it looks like in the cake. So pretty rainbowy. And this is what I'm doing with it. So I'm just doing a really simple little garter shawl, increasing on every time on the same side. Stitches falling off. So just increasing on one side. I'll knit till it's as big as I want it, or I run out of yarn, whatever the case may be. But what I'm doing, oh sugar, I just pulled more stitches off. Should I have stitch keepers on here? Absolutely. Do I? No. Although this yarn is pretty grippy, so that helps. But I do have right here on the table beside me. Well, maybe I don't have them as close as I thought. Nope. There are stitch needle stoppers on there. All I'm doing is every time I get to the red and orange blips, I'm doing a bobble. Just a 3-stitch by... So I do 3 stitches, and then I in 1 stitch. So I knit 1, knit in the front, knit in the back, knit in the front, turn the work, purl across, turn the work, knit across, turn the work, purl across, turn the work, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass over. Little bobbles, tiny bobbles, every time there's a red blip. And the background, what I really like is, I don't know if the background is gray. Sometimes it looks almost blue. It's a very bluey gray anyway. But I'm getting this really neat effect. And this is a technique called planned pooling, or there's another word for it. Planned pooling. I won't be able to remember. I'll think of it later. If I think of it later, I'll put it in the notes. But I thought it was really cute, and I thought I have another skein of yarn that's good for it that I picked up at Woolstock last year, and I have an idea for it already too. But I do really like the effect of this. Like, it's just cute, and this is just going to be a little light. This will be a very much, so unlike the mYak one, which is warm, but this is, I think, going to be, it's going to be a bit bigger, obviously, because I'm using more yarn, but it's also going to be like a really cozy warm. Because BFL, Blue Face Luster, is a little, it's not as soft as Merino. I really like it. It's a woolier wool. But yeah, so a little shawl. And it's great because it's garter with a bobble every now and then. And just enough to keep your interest. And it's in a small bag that squishes. So that, I have that one. I have, oh, this one. This is, and I just started it because Noelle on Knits and Pieces on, she's Knits and Pieces on Instagram. Hers is done. She's Knit Chat Cafe Noelle. she's doing this. It's the done. I just started. I literally have cast it on. It is the, let me see if I can get the pieces. It's the Done Loose shawl. So that's all there is of it so far. And I have this little beaver tail on here, so I know that's the right size. I think I might have got this from the Grocery Girls, but it's done by, it's designed by Maxim Cyr from Les Garçons, and I have my, just a little plain, I have 2 stitch markers. One says Love Wins, and the other one is just a little pearl thing. And it is, again, this is the Yarn Indulgences show. This is Indulgent Luxury. It is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. And it's 100 grams. It was 111 grams, actually. I weighed it before I started. And it's the natural color of this base. Like, I don't think it's dyed. I don't know. Does she dye? Does she have a color on it? I don't think so. No. I think this is just the color. And it is a gorgeous color. It's a very, very soft gray, and it's very soft yarn. And yeah, it's just there's no purl stitches in this either. That's its claim to fame. And let's see if I can find a good picture of it here on my iPad. I think I can. I print off very, very few patterns. Pretty much everything I do is digitally on my iPad. So there's a picture of it. One of the neat things about it is the pattern has multiple, like if you use, like there's multiple weights and multiple sizes, and you can pick which way, like there's a few different options in it. And then it comes with, so here it says the mini, perfect size for a neckerchief. It will wrap around your neck twice. And they used Midnight Cravings light sock, about 30 grams. So depending on how big you want it is how many repeats you do of the shawl. And then there's a bandana style, and there's the Done Loose medium and the Done Loose large, and they're all just, and they're all done in the same yarn. It's just how many repeats and how many stitches you do, like how much increasing you do on it. So I'm doing, I think, the smaller one. I'm not positive. That's my plan right now. And it is in my Ginger Snap. This is a great little bag for a one skein project. This is my little Ginger Snap, that bag that I got at Knit City, and it opens up to be like a little box, and then when you close it, it just fits into a little pouch. So that's my second one. The third one is massive. It's a biggie. Our grandson is a Boston Bruins fan, and we don't hold that against him. He's always been a Boston Bruins fan before he knew us, so we didn't have influence on him at that point in his life, but that's okay. He wanted a Boston Bruins sweater. So for Christmas, he got the yarn for the Boston Bruins sweater, and now I have the logo done. I haven't steamed it or anything. It was knit in pieces I have one sleeve done, finished it today. I would really like to get the other sleeve done before we go away, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's a mashup of a couple or 3 different patterns. Like, I use numbers. I found a chart on the internet. I just Googled Boston Bruins logo chart. And he's 13, so I'm making a men's extra small, and I'm sort of using the measurements from this, and I've had it's just a pretty basic raglan. I think they're all raglans. Yeah. Sweater book for a variety of sizes, and I am doing the extra small size in the unisex adult raglan from this Patton's book. And the yarn I'm using is Bernat Fabulous, because he's a 13-year-old boy, and this is going to be around for a while. The backstory is my boys have sweaters similar to this. Our oldest son, Neil, his is a Montreal Canadiens one, and I knit it for him when he was in high school still. And he is 32 now, so he's had it for a few years. Wears it a lot. Yeah. I think I did his in Patton's Canadiana at the time. This is a 90% acrylic, 20% wool blend. So it has a little bit of wool for warmth. And also that will help with steaming it. Like, the logo needs to be steamed to get it level. And I don't know what the colors are. Bright gold. What's this one? Cream. And oh, that's a bright gold, cream, and I don't know what the black color is. I don't have, the label's not in here. It's not black though. It's like charcoal. I thought I had one of each, but it's more of a charcoal black. Like, it's not a black. Anyway. And, you know, to figure it out, I just Googled Boston Bruins hockey jerseys to get an idea of what the stripe pattern and things looked like, and played around with it to get the numbers I wanted. You can see the rowing out a little bit in that. It'll improve when I wash it. And same with the logo. This was the time-consuming part. But I'm hoping he likes it. Does it count if you give someone wool 1 year for Christmas? Can you give him this knitted sweater the next year? I don't think I want to wait that long. I want to get it done when he can still wear it this fall more. I did not do a raglan. I used the numbers from the raglan, and then I used, I think it's the Weasley sweater pattern on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And adjusted those numbers to make it more drop shouldered, and I'm hoping this steams out. It was a stepped shoulder, and it's just not as tidy as I would like it to be, but hopefully it'll steam out. And use those numbers to come up with the depth of sleeve that I needed to fit them. Once it's all sewn together, it's going to look better too, because right now the edges are all curling. But yeah, it's fun. And it's fun, and it knits up so fast because it's worsted weight. But it's a fun thing to do, because I know he'll be happy. He'll be excited about it when it's finally done. But it is, I mean, now I'm on the sleeves, I can just do it whenever. But when I was knitting the rest of it, I felt like I couldn't, it wasn't something I could work on. I couldn't knit and read to do the color work part, but I could the rest of it. So yeah, it's just it's a big project. Can't take it anywhere. Oops. I can't take it anywhere. It's far too big a project to take on the go. So I've been taking that little bauble scarf has been my on the go knitting, because the other thing that was my on the go knitting were these fun socks. These are now ready for heels, but I haven't done them yet. This is a timber yarn twin sock, and you get two 50 grams, and mine were 54.9 and 54.4, just out of interest. And this is Marled Ghosts and Goblins was the colorway. And the mini is a timber yarns as well, and it is called Night. And it's kind of a bluey, also a bluey gray color. So I just need to do the heels on those, and then they will be a pair of socks. I haven't weighed it yet, but I do still have quite a bit of each one left. And I made these quite long. I don't know who they're going to be for. I don't know if I'm even going to decide who they're for yet. Like I might not put the heels in right away. I might just put it all together and put it away to put the heels in later when I decide who they're for. But those are done. And I do that quite often. Just start a sock tube, like just and just knit. It's perfect because I do a lot of, as you know, if you've been here before, I do a lot of waiting room knitting and stuff like that. They're just in a little pouch I got Amazon maybe, but it's cute. Not handcrafted, I don't think. And then this is my Dolphina sock bag, and I always love my Dolphina, these little cubes. This is my next version of that sock pattern I'm doing, and I'm just making better notes this time. This is, whose yarn is this? Leo and Roxy, and the colorway is All of You. I wanted to do it, so I love it I love the pattern here, but this is a highly speckled yarn, so the pattern gets lost, whereas this is a more lightly speckled yarn, so you can see the pattern a little better. And I'm knitting these on, I don't know, 2.25. They might only be 2s. Sometimes I do them on 2s, depending on how I feel. But I'm just knitting through it again. And when the pattern, like once I've written it up, it will have a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, like that's the plan. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I think, oh, and one more whip. The whip that has gone on forever and ever. So, I am happy to say I am not the only person who shares on the internet, on YouTube, that my twist and turn scarf is still, or shawl, from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I can't even remember anymore. It's so long ago. Mystery Knit Along with Stephen West. I love his things. My Vertices Unite gets worn all the time. My shawlography is downstairs. It's that shawl on the back of a chair in our, well, we have a little nook off our dining room that's always there. You can grab it if you're outside. We had a bunch of people over. People are chilly. I go in and those shawls are always on the back of chairs. They get used a ton. And I love them. And I love this one too. I think it's that, although I love it, and I love the challenge of the knitting, and I love the new techniques and all those things, they require a lot of my, I don't know why, I have all these needles in this bag. It's no wonder I have no needles in my needle case. They require a lot of my brain, and you have to read the pattern. Like, you have to read, like, it, there's no mindless knitting in them, which is okay, right? Like, I mean, that's fine. And I am now down to what I think might be the last clue. Like, I just have to do the little piece that goes on the bottom of this part. I have all the other parts done. And obviously I didn't pay attention very well because both of these ends, there's something wonky going on. Like, neither, I mean, they look the same, or at least very similar, but I obviously had to do some fudging to get it to work. But anyway, I love the yarn I picked. I love all the things about it. And then what happens is I leave it for so long that the next time I go to pick it up, it's almost like I'm starting over because I don't know where I'm at. But anyway, I just need to finish it because I know it'll get worn and I know it'll get used and I know I'll love it, but I can't take it anywhere. I can't, like, there's just so many things about it that I love it. I love the pattern. I love everything about it, except that I put it down and then it takes me a while to be able to pick it up again. So I don't know what, you know, it's done in 3 colors of Cascade Heritage, which is, the base is 75-25. So it's this like off-white, this gorgeous green, and then a skein of Wave, which is Cascade's color changing yarn. And I don't know if the Wave has a color. Most of their stuff doesn't have color names. It just has a number. Color number 520 is this one. And I don't know which one of these is which. One is color number 5612. And the other one is 5758. But I don't know which is the cream and which is the green. You would have to go on Cascade's site to figure that out, because I don't know the answer. But I really love it. I bought the yarn at La Violette when they were still open, because the yarn I'd ordered didn't come in time. I used it for something else. But I really like it. I just wish I could magic it done, because it's taking forever. And I can't take it anywhere. And now I'm at the end of a clue, which is at least a good thing, because at least now when I pick it up, I know I don't have to figure out where I'm at. Like, I know exactly where I'm at. I have it written down. Unlike the other times where I go, oh, I'll remember, because I'll finish up that row, you know, I'll finish up that section tomorrow, and I don't. Anyway, that's life. So, so considering how long it's been, there's not a lot of acquisitions, although there are a few. We are at that part of the episode. I don't where. Oh, we were driving to Costco, as you do. And I was on Instagram, and I don't know what I saw, but I went, ooh, I haven't checked out Area 51 for a while, because I like Area 51 fibers. And I have used their yarns for a few things, gotten some of their... So I went on, and I ordered some yarn. I ordered these two 50-gram skeins, which are called Forgiveness and Stuff. I think these are from their Gilmore Girls collection, but they gave me kind of Christmassy vibes. I thought I could do some Christmas socks for somebody with those. And this is their Sturdy Alien base, which is 80/20, and I really like it. Like, it's a nice base to work with. And the thing I like best about them is I think I paid $5 shipping, because they vacuum seal and flat pack it, which is why the labels are like this instead of on the skeins. And I also ordered, they only had one of these, but one is enough for a pair of socks. Sweater weather, because I just love the colors. And the skeins are messy, not because they make them messy, because I do. Because they unskein them and vacuum them. So I got that from Area 51. And then, I don't know if any of you noticed, if you use the, so it's Shopify app, I think, or the Shop app, you get points. And every once in a while, you can use those points on, like, they multiply, and they can use them on different things. And I had an offer from Arcane Fiberworks, and I love their yarn, but I had not at that point ordered any. And because all your Amazon stuff also goes through there and adds points in that area, I don't know how it works. I really don't know how it works. But anyway, I had enough points for the offer that I could buy 2 skeins, and I would end up getting the third one for free. And I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I picked I Love Fall Most of All is the colorway from Arcane Fiberworks. And it is a mystery composition. Or I Can't See It, or something. I think it's, I want to say 75/25, but I have, how many meters of it do I have? It is fingering. It doesn't tell me, there's not a lot of information on this label. That's what I will say. Anyways, I have about 1,200 meters, but I really like these colors. I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I've been wanting to make a fingering weight pullover for a while. And I thought, I love these kinds of oranges, and like, I love these colors. And I thought this would be enough that I would be able to wear that quite nicely. So I got those. And, oh, where we live in Southern Ontario, I'm about, I guess, about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and 10 minutes from Listowel, Ontario, which is where the Spinrite factory, I don't know if the Spinrite factory is there or was there. You was there. I don't know if it still is. I don't know if they still actually make yarn there, but that's where their outlet is. And they also have a shop. So they do a big tent sale every year. And the cool thing about it, so Spinrite makes Pattons, Bernat, Sugar and Cream, Cotton, like those are the brands that they make. And so they have like discontinued colors, discontinued lines, like different things like that. the only tricky part about it is, one, buy 3, the 4th one is free. So it's a good deal. They're already marked down to good prices to start with. But you end up buying a lot of the same thing to get it, because many of them come in like this. These you bought in bags of 6. And that was how they were sold. You couldn't just buy 4 balls. You had to buy 4 bags. And this is Bernat Handicrafter. And I don't know what the colorways are. They're probably numbers. But I got 4 bags of this. Because I do dishcloths, but I also do like little kitchen towels, like I hang on my stove and things. And so I like to have, this one is called, I think this one might be called Cottage. So I got 2 bags of Cottage. I got 1 bag of, honest to goodness, Candy Sprinkles. Candy Sprinkles. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry for all that crinkling too. I know it, everybody else always apologizes for it. I don't really understand why. Crinkling just means there's yarn involved. Oh, chamomile is what this color is called. It's just a yellowy cream. So I got 3 of those, and then I got this one. Was, you could buy it by the ball or the bag, and I opted to get just 4 skeins of it. They only had 1 colorway, so this must have been a different discontinued color. And this is a 55% acrylic, 45% cotton, and it's designed to make a wrap with. But because I was getting 4 of them, I think I can do something else with it. It is a fingering weight. I can probably do, I could probably do like a t-shirt or a tank top or something with it. I'm not sure. But I really like these colors. And like these 4 balls might have cost me $9. Like they were $3 or $4 a ball, so it might have been 12. Because buy 3 get 1 free. Right, like I'm sure I didn't pay any more than that. So that was one of our adventures this summer. It's always in August if you're in Southern Ontario. It usually goes for like 10 days, like 2 weeks. Both weekends on either end of a week, and maybe 1 extra day somewhere. It can be crazy busy. It was hot the day we were there. We were there on the 2nd day of the sale. And the day before they'd had to call the ambulance because people were passing out. It was less busy the day we were there, the 2nd day. And they get, like they display it as it comes off the truck. So as they have more room, more things come in. Like if you go on different days, you can sometimes find different things. So if you get a chance and they make yarns you like, it's worth going. There was no, I used to get a lot of my Patons Croix there that way, and there was none this year. Like they didn't have any Patons Croix in the sale just because that wasn't what was available this year. In the past, like last year, the last time I went, I know I got several bags of solid colors, which was great because then I used the solid colors, and some of them are like seconds, like maybe it's a batch that has knots in it or something. Although I get those when I pay full price for them at places too, so I don't understand the difference. But anyway, or maybe the color is off a little bit, but you would only notice that if you were doing a sweater or something. Like you don't notice it in the heels and toes of a sock. Yeah, so it's catch as catch can when you go, but there's always all different things. So if you're in the neighborhood when it happens, even just going to their store, they often have good deals in there too. I always stop in on my way through. It happens to be, or can be, on my way to our daughter's place, because they live a couple hours away, a little over 2 hours. And Listwell's, well, it's more than halfway. So I pop in when I can. And they often have good deals, like especially if you're looking for things like yarn for baby blankets and things, and you use an acrylic or an acrylic blend, they often have good deals on those. So that's what I've been up to all summer, pretty much. And now I'm rolling into the fall season and pretty excited to be heading to the various festivals that are going on. And yeah, looking forward to see as many of you as I can. I was so excited when people would walk up to me at Knit City and say hi. And I like to fangirl. So if I see someone I watch, I get pretty excited about that too. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing people out and about at the various festivals. Last year I was on the gate at Woolstock. So if you go there, you might see me there. I don't know what, I give them at least part of my day. So I have no idea what they're going to do with me this year, but we'll see. And yeah, we'll go from there. Everyone, enjoy yourselves. Whatever you're doing this fall, have fun. We look forward to going on a holiday. My husband and I have not been together on a holiday for quite a long time. And even though it's to New Brunswick, where we have a ton of family, I'm still really looking forward to spending some time away from here with him. So that'll be good. And yeah, keep knitting. Do what brings you joy. Thanks for sticking around this long. Please talk to me I love answering comments, and like and subscribe and all those wonderful things. Bye everyone. Have a great week. Bye.